Good afternoon, everyone. It's Tanya of CuteNCuddlyNursery. I have 3, 4, 5 more new babies. I'm not painting all of them today. 2 I'm actually working on the weekend. However, 3 I'm doing during the week. So I'll just show you the ones I'm working on. So I have the 3-month Joseph asleep, and I've done a yellow layer. I think you can tell there's a little bit of yellow to him. I've done a yellow layer. I don't know if you can see the veining on the top of his head or not, but I've done veining. I've done some undertones. I've also done creases. Hopefully, I just need 1 layer of creases, but this is him so far. And I am doing the primary method, so I will be doing red next on him. And I've my blue is my undertones. So yeah, so I'm gonna do red on him next. And since he's an older baby, I'm gonna keep him more lighter color and stuff, not the like super red like I do newborns. Speaking of newborns, here is Summer Rain. And she is reserved. Joseph is also reserved currently. If that changes, I will post it on my Facebook, or I might mention that in another video. Okay, so here's Summer Rain. Like I said, she is being adopted, or is adopted actually. She's paid for. And so I have only done her undertones and her veining. I don't know if you can tell. But I have a new technique that I'm using to do the veining. I'm actually using artist pastels instead of the powders that I was using. I was using the Coastal Scents powders, but I just can't, sealing them doesn't do anything. I don't want to rub them in too hard because, I like the lighter look of the creases, and so yeah, I'm not using the powders anymore. I'm using some chalk, and so anyway, they're artist pastels. They're not pen pastels. I'm not sure. They're an off-brand, I guess. I don't know. You can get them at a hobby store. Anyhow, so this is Madison by Andrea Arcello. I think that's Arcello. I don't know how you pronounce her last name, I'm sorry, but this is Madison. She is also reserved. She's going to be a Christmas present for somebody, a friend of a friend, and so she's paid for, and I gotta get her going before Christmas arrives. I gotta get her out of here in November, actually. So what I did was I spent yesterday lightening her up, because you know how if you've seen German vinyl, it's peach, like really peach. So I did some mint washes. I made my own mint color. I don't have mint, but I used titanium buff. That's like almost white. That's my flesh color that I have. I don't actually do flesh tones usually, but because she was so peachy, I had no choice. So I made a mint. And then I went over, I made a mint with the sky blue, the Ultimate Fusion Sky Blue, and the golden titanium buff, and a little bit of the primary yellow, and mixed them together, and I got a kind of a light green. So I went over the whole baby with that, except for the inside of her mouth. I left the inside of her mouth untouched. I guess I did put blue in her mouth yesterday, but you can see there's a blue tint to her mouth that I didn't really mean to do that, but we're gonna paint her mouth anyway, so it'll be fine. And she's had some veining and blue undertones as well, so I will be, I don't know why that's showing up blue, but there's veining through there, I guess. The veining didn't show up as well on her. I better turn this towards me more. It didn't show up as much on her as it did, say Joseph here. Like Joseph, you can really see the veining more, or at least in person. And the blue undertones, of course, this direction. So, yeah, I don't know. This is a size comparison too. Look at that big baby. So anyhow, she's gonna have a newborn look to her anyway, so I left her a little on the peachy side, but if this showed up better, you could see that this is like really like a reddish orange. It kind of looks like it's showing up in the camera, and then the rest of her is lighter, but she still kind of has that orangey tint on the camera, but not so much here. She's more of a yellowy here versus the red on the bottom. So you can kind of tell in the camera it looks like. So I did lighten her up quite a bit. I'm not sure if I did like 10 or 12 layers, but a lot. So she is looking good. And then I'll do, also I'm doing another Britney asleep because I wasn't happy with the other Britney and she is sold. So I thought, okay, well, I'll do a second one. Her mommy doesn't have any air dry babies and I was just not happy with the first one, so I thought, okay, I'll do a second one because I don't want her first impression of well, I want her first impression of air dry paints to be a good one, you know. But actually the other Britney, if you saw her on my Facebook page, turned out really beautiful. I really adore her. She's still here, so I'm, you know, enjoying her while she's here. She is going to be going soon. So yeah. So anyhow, I did do her veining as well. I don't know if you can see that, but she does have some veining done and her blue undertones as well. And I do add a little bit of blue to the bottoms of the eyelash or eyelids, sorry. The eyelids, and then in the crease on the eyes as well. And then I did a little across the bridge of the nose. So you want to keep your blues really light. So you can see them right now. But this, if you've seen, you know, Bountiful Babies kits, they're pretty pale. So, I mean, she's got a long way to go. Barely has any paint on her. Okay, and I keep rambling. I'll try to make this quicker. So this is my fifth baby, and I adore her. I am so like thinking I might keep her. This is Aria, I think that's how you pronounce her name. Sleep. She's a real born as well, just like I think Summerine is a real born if I remember correctly. Aria, and then Brooklyn, of course. Now Brooklyn's a newborn size, and so Aria is gonna be a little preemie. You can kind of tell the size difference. So I have been looking for my keeper baby to be large preemie, small newborn. Oh, I see some leaves have changed on the tree already. They're yellow. Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry. But I just adore her little face. She is gorgeous, I think. Just an adorable baby. So she might be my keeper baby if she turns out really well. If not, she's gonna be for sale. So I'm gonna do painted hair. I plan on that anyway. I'm not gonna root her because that takes me forever to root. But yeah. So anyhow, these are my babies that I'm working on currently. Like I said, I'm gonna have to just focus on Madison here at the end. So for now, when I do my videos, I want to show Summer Rain. I want her to be, she's gonna be my main focus baby. I'm saying focus baby and it's not even focusing on her. There we go. She is up close. Oh, look at her face. I have seen some really cute versions of this kit, and I've seen some ones that I'm afraid mine are going to turn out like. I don't know if anyone else gets that way, but I'm just going to start mixing up some paint while I talk. I'm using the primary yellow. This is Golden brand, and you don't want to use very much of this. Now, I have found that these paints are very, very potent color-wise, and if you need to strip it, you know, I tried to strip my first Britney, and I couldn't get the paint off at all. So, yeah, so I'm really gonna thin out this paint and, yeah, go from there. So, oh, and I open this with the cloth because whenever I open it with my hand, I end up getting like down my thumb or my finger, I get paint. So, and I don't want to get paint on me because then I get paint on the babies, and yeah, I don't want to do that. I just washed this, so that's why there's a little bit of water in here, but here's I didn't add too much. It's a small drop and it's thinned out, like I said, because of the water that was in there previously. So this is what I use for my water. It's just, it's for candy, like chocolate, you know, but it works. So I'm just gonna fill this all the way up with water. So get that other paintbrush out of there. That's the brush I was using. I didn't clean it very good. It still has color on it. But that's my brush I was using for, I gotta turn Madison. I'm afraid I'm gonna touch her. Veining and creases. I guess I can show you my brush that I use. So it's nothing too fancy, but this is my brush I use for creases and for the veining. It makes the lines a little too thin for the veining. I think this came from Michael's. This is the brand Princeton Select Liner, it says. And then it says 70 out of 0. I don't know if I can see that, but right there. And so anyhow, it works really good for creases because it gets right in there, but I need a little bit thicker. I don't have a thicker brush, but I need like a bit thicker than that to do creases, because the creases, it makes the lines just really, really thin, and too thin in my opinion. And so if it's too thin, you know, then you have these really tiny lines and it looks like capillaries and not, you know, you want bigger veins to show up, right? So, yeah, I need a slightly larger. I probably have one in my supply cupboard, but I haven't looked. I should. Okay, so I'm just using my usual sponge. It's a natural sea sponge, and I've just ripped off a big chunk, kind of a big chunk, I don't know. And this I got at Michael's. It's a Martha Stewart. I've had it for a while, actually. Not this, well, I mean, not opened. I had it in the supply cupboard for a little while. I'm making a mess. And so in the supply cupboard, and I never used a sea sponge before, but I thought I would give it a try because I know that a lot of artists out there use these sponges, so I've added yellow to it for my yellow layer. Oh yeah, people messaging me. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna show you on her head. I'm not sure. I'm trying to make sure that you'll be able to see me. Okay. So I like to check for any spiders inside the head before I start. Because I have seen spiders in kits before. I don't know why they're attracted to the kits, but I close them up so well now. They're in containers with lids now because I've seen a spider in one and I was like, that's enough of that. You know, so. Okay, and now I realize I didn't get my, what do you call that, like a catch-all sponge ready. So, and now I'm just gonna dab over and pick up excess yellow because we don't want it too yellow. There we go. Now you shouldn't see like a huge amount of color, of course. There shouldn't be like, you know, she goes from white to yellow all of a sudden. Oh, there's a little hair there. And yeah, there should just be a little bit of change in color. And I'm not like super pressing down hard. I'm just kind of like lightly grabbing. the color off. Or the like beading, I guess. I always have beading through the whole process. I know a lot of people complain about the beading, but I don't know. It doesn't really bother me because I see it as just a normal thing that happens. So I just go with it. I think she might make a nice dark baby, actually. Like ethnic baby. Because of like her lips and I don't know, her nose, the way that her nostrils kind of stick out. I don't know. She's pretty. I love her. Okay. So now I'm going to do the back side. And the top. Now, there's no pattern that'll show up. I've heard to make the paint, you know, add more color to the paint, and then it'll show up, but I would worry about ruining the baby that way. I'm not, you know, I don't have time to be experimenting, so, even my colors are usually pretty blended when I do modeling with Genesis paint as well, so, I mean, I'm not too worried about, you know, any modeling showing up or not, because like I said, I like to blend them in really, really well. Okay, so I just want to do a little bit of yellow on her nose here, because she's a newborn. And I don't want too much yellow, of course, but some yellow. Is she looking yellow? She got a yellow tint, I think. Let's see her with her arm. I don't know why, like I've noticed that the kits, some of these kits are really shiny on the hands. Can you see that in the light? And it kind of worries me. Like, oh, one of her foot too is like shiny. And I haven't put these babies in the oven at all, so it's not like they're melted from heat or anything. That's how they came out of the packaging, I don't know. Okay, so you can kind of see that she does have a yellow tint compared to her arm. And that's what we want. We want a bit of a yellow tint. So I think she's good then. So I'll just go ahead and show you like with an arm as well. And I'm just doing one layer of yellow. And I'm going to do that all with all of the babies. Hopefully I have time. Let me just check the time really quick. 1:23. Okay. So I'm just going to dab on. And I am going over the veining, of course. Now I've found that so far with the artist pastels that they are not coming off at all. Like, I mean, I really rubbed some of the blue because I was worried I made it too dark, but you can barely see it anyway in the light. But I tried to rub off some of the blue. I tried to use water to rub it off, and it doesn't come off. So I'm actually pretty happy with that it doesn't come off, because that's what we want. We do not want any coming off. But I'm too like nervous to try it with so there's her arm. But I'm too nervous to try blushing. Sorry, I blanked for a minute. I'm too nervous to try the blushing because I'm worried that, like, you can see that I still have my powders in the background there. Those are the ones that I used. I only used 4 colors. So I haven't thrown them out. I might give them to my daughter to play with. She's, you know, at the age of makeup is cool now or whatever, so maybe she would like them. Because they are eyeshadow. But, I mean, otherwise, I was thinking of just throwing those ones away because I have used them. But I have a bunch that was with Sue Ellen's tutorial, so I bought like all of them in her tutorial. And I only ended up ever using the 4 there. 3 reds and the blue for veining. That was it. And I just didn't see, and I still don't see the necessity of all like 20 different colors. I'm not sure how many there are exactly. I'm just guessing. There's quite a few. And I paid about $4 Canadian for each one, minus shipping. You still have to pay shipping, of course. And so, you know, I'm thinking of selling them for what I paid. So for the ones unused, I might just throw in the ones that I use just to, you know, just to get rid of them because I'm not going to use them anymore. Okay, there's her other leg, or her leg, whoop, and her foot. You can kind of see the veining, I guess, but it's very light. And I do veining on the bottom of the foot as well. Some people just paint here, but I actually do the veining throughout the foot. And I'm hoping that once I add more colors that, excuse my reach, I'm hoping that those veins will pop out. Now I might have to do a blue layer at the end, which is fine. I like to make, or like, this color of blue. I don't know if it'll pick it up. Come on, I don't want to have to put down, I don't want to have to put down the other blue, or the leg and whatnot. There we go. So this is like a sky blue, Ultimate Fusion, it's number 11. So I would maybe do that color, or maybe like the ultramarine, or is that what it's called? This is number 8 in the Ultimate Fusion. I'm slowly phasing out Ultimate Fusion and I'm switching over to golden. So, because for me, I can get golden locally. It's actually costs less for me because you get a way bigger bottle. It's in Canadian funds. I don't have to pay for shipping. So, it just makes sense, right? And the colors, I find the colors are a lot more pigmented. So for me, that's just my opinion. That's what I'm going with. So. Okay, so her little leg is looking good. Now I do use that same sponge for all of my layers. I'll do red next, of course. Okay, that leg looks good. A little veining and everything in the leg. And then the foot. I don't know if you can see any veining in the top of the foot, maybe a little bit there. And excuse my reach again. Okay, and I'll grab her last little arm. So, oh, and I also, I guess as a 6th baby, I do have a silicone behind me on my silicone painting table. And she is adopted as well, or well, her mommy's paying payments, and so she's reserved. And so I'm not sure, but my camera card was full, so I had to go empty it, and I don't know when the video cut off, so I'm just gonna mention that I went ahead and finished Little Summer Rain's limbs, painting them yellow, or adding my yellow layer, I should say. And then I also decided to add a yellow layer to Little Madison here. I'm not sure if you can see that she has a yellow layer or not. I'm trying to like show the difference in the little flange here and then the rest of her. So maybe you can kind of see the difference in color. So I'm really liking this kit. I love her. I'm just a little, you know, she's got a pretty firm head. Like I'm pushing pretty hard and I'm just not sure how I'm gonna root her. Anyhow, so between all the time, because I had a lot of videos on my camera card, so I also added yellow to Britney here, and also to little Aria. I hope I'm saying her name right. Aria? I'm not sure, but anyway, here she is as well, and I added a little yellow to her too. And next, I know I said that I was gonna do red next, because that is what Joseph needs. Because Joseph, I've added, come on, focus, there we go. I've added creases already on Joseph, and so now what he needs is red, but the rest of them need their creases done. So I'm going to be doing creases next on these babies instead of red. So I'll be back in another video. I didn't want to leave everybody hanging on the last one because it ended abruptly and everything. So I'm going to edit these two videos together to make one. So I'll be back in the next video. Hopefully today, Lord willing. If not, I'll be back tomorrow with it. So thank you all so much for watching.